The Raptors pull out a comeback win against the Brooklyn Nets, 109-108. Welcome inside the Scotia Club, inside Scotiabank Arena. I'm Randy Urban, and this is Raptors Night Cap. Tonight, joined by the incomparable, the alone, the individual,
somehow
Leo
Randy
Rautins.
has alienated everybody. But I said, no, you know what? I'm hanging with you, buddy. I'm not going to leave you. I'm not going to do that.
Well, I brought the wings, so you couldn't really pass that
I
up.
don't think I'd be here without him, and of course the water.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good water. COVID protocols, it's just Leo and I, so we apologize in advance, but we had a podcast together that went pretty well, so maybe this will go pretty good.
Hey, let's give it a shot.
Yeah. All right. First of all, what did it feel like being inside the arena tonight when you walked in?
Oh, it's great. I mean, honestly, so I went to Brooklyn for yesterday's game.
Yeah.
And just being in an arena, it just felt weird, right? You know, stand there courtside, all this stuff going on. So, we missed it here. So coming in here tonight, it actually felt like a playoff game walking in. You know, you get here early, you get all the T-shirts laid out.
Yeah.
So it just kind of had a good vibe. And then as people were coming in, it just, okay, all right, I remember this. This is nice. So
a little quiet at the beginning, in my opinion.
I think. I think people's routines have been disrupted, right?
Yeah, right.
Even people arriving and the noise and this and that. I think everybody's just trying to get back into it.
Yeah.
But by the end of the game, they were back into it. So it was great.
Yeah. So the game starts. The Raptors start playing well. Listen, you beat a team like you did the last night. It's hard to do that back-to-back. I don't care who's not playing, who's playing on the other team.
No, I mean, there was no way it was going to be another 30-point game. You knew that.
No.
I was confident the Raptors would win again. But I tell you what, give the Nets credit. I mean, last night they turned the ball over ridiculously, right?
Yeah.
They didn't get any production from their bigs. This game was a totally different game. I mean, their defense was outstanding. The zone really bothered the Raptors.
Yeah.
They took care of the basketball. LaMarcus Aldridge was a factor. So they played well. I mean, they're an NBA team, man. They got rocked at home.
They play hard.
Yeah,
right?
they got rocked at home. So you knew they were going to come in with some pride. But the bottom line is you got to win the game, and the Raptors did what they had to. And go back to the crowd, that was a factor.
Yeah.
I mean, second night of a back-to-back. I was on the plane came in. I got home at 3 a.m. So
What'd you do?
Huh?
What'd you do? Did you go to bed?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was beat. So it's a late night, right?
Yeah,
the crowd was a factor down the stretch.
Yeah. What was giving the Raptors issues specifically? Because, Brooklyn used an 11-0 run in the second quarter. They used a run in the third quarter to kind of take semi-control of the game. What were they doing to give the Raptors some, semi-fits?
Well, the zone was really aggressive. I mean, it was moving.
Yeah.
Everybody was talking. And the Raptors, weren't always attacking it aggressively, right? When they did, they had success. You get the short corners, the middle, which we talked about during the game. Then they missed some threes that could have made a difference. There you go. Fine. Come on, get in the act here, right? But I give them credit. I mean, that zone is really good. And when the Raptors started to adjust to the zone, the Nets made some changes to their zone too, and they made it more of a matchup, right? They started following cutters and taking away some things that the Raptors were able to get early.
Were those illegal defense calls really illegal defense? Because there's one that was like, they're all kind of looking around like, I'm on my man.
Okay, you're playing the same defense majority of the game, and all of a sudden, the fourth quarter, you're making these calls. So if I'm the Nets, I'd be ticked off, right? Because I'm going, this is what we've been doing all game. You didn't blow the whistle on this. So again, home court, right?
Okay, so we get to the fourth quarter. This is where I feel like the crowd starts to get into it, right? Like you can hear them from outside the arena. I was up in the office, like doing a few things, and you could hear the crowd just roaring at every play. But what were the pivotal moments that you saw in the fourth quarter that kind of changed the tide for the Raptors? Because they used a nice little run there.
Barnes with his rebounding.
What about that step back first, though? That step back.
You know what's cool about that? This kid didn't panic. He picked up his dribble, had nowhere to go, no one to pass to. Okay, I'll just step back and knock it down. Yeah. No panic at all, right? And again, some of the rebounds, he's chasing guys down. Boom, he gets a rebound. Gary Trent's guarding. Seth Curry. Boom, he comes from behind, knocks it, blocks the shot. The pass finds Thaddeus. This kid can play.
Yeah.
Loose ball on the floor, he dives on the floor, pulls it out between two guys.
Yeah.
So
the one dribble from the top of the three-point line into steps for the dunk, there's something special here.
He is, and like he doesn't look like a rookie out there. He's a key part of what the Raptors are doing.
Yeah.
So it's fun to watch. And then like you look at Gary Trent in the fourth quarter, right? He struggled a little bit with his shooting out 2 games, but if you're a scorer, you're not thinking, let's see, 4 for 10. Scorers don't think that way. Scorers are giving the ball. And in the fourth quarter, he's getting inside, getting the free throw line, perfect from the free throw line. He just wanted the ball, like he give it to me, and that's impressive to me.
I want to just go back to something you said about Scottie real quick. He doesn't look like a rookie out there. Is there somebody that he reminds you of that kind of came in playing at that level like that? I mean, even guys like Dirk didn't seem like they had first years like this.
Yeah,
like he really doesn't look like. I feel good when he's on the floor.
Oh, I do too. And guess what? So does Nick Nurse. That's why he's on the floor all the time.
Yeah.
Again, I don't like throwing names out there because people like say like it's literal, like that's who he is.
Right.
No, like Magic Johnson when he came into the NBA. Magic Johnson was a 6'9" guy that could open things up. He could get your rebounds. He could start your break. He'd score. He'd do all kinds of things. And he changed the culture. Like he made passing cool, made moving the ball cool. Scottie has that kind of an impact, right? Again, I'm not saying he's Magic Johnson. That's not what I'm saying. But he has, a tall guy that can handle the basketball. And the other thing too, he's got an old school game. You talk to players. I'm not a post-up guy. Mm-hmm. Oh, who the hell say you got to be a post-up guy? I got a smaller guy on me. I'm going to take him down. I'm going to score. What's that got to do with me in a post-up? That's nothing to do with being a post-up guy. It's playing basketball. Yeah. Like I said, I'm old. Okay, I'm old. But back in the day, you got a smaller guy on you. You got an advantage. You take him.
Yeah. Why are you pointing at me? You can't back me down.
I don't want to tell you what I do to you. But, so, you know what I'm saying? And Scottie Barnes does that.
Yeah.
And he doesn't care if it's a bigger guy, too. Yeah. And because he's got the left and a right.
Yeah.
How many guys have been in this league, 10 years, that don't have a left and a right?
I'll tell you one, the guy that just got waived by the Lakers, like DeAndre Jordan. Like, in my opinion, why did he never develop just a little low post, a little shimmy shake, left hand hook in the lane?
You've got so many guys who got one move.
Yeah.
Got one move.
Yeah.
Well, here, you're in the gym every single day. How hard is it to go right, left, right, left? How hard is that?
Yeah.
And Scottie came into the league with that.
Yeah.
So somebody's taught him well.
Yeah.
Somebody's coached him.
Somebody gave him the Micum drill.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Exactly.
So
I agree with you. I've been preaching that for a long time, Leo. Like not as long as you, obviously, with that.
Is that a crack?
With that
did he just call me old? Did he just?
But I'm just saying, like, if you're in the NBA and you got any sort of size, you gotta use that.
Not only that, but the baby hook. Okay.
Baby hook is
hook. If you don't have size, that's the greatest shot inside.
I agree.
Dave Collins. Okay. Dave Collins was a great center in this league for the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
He was 6'9".
Yeah.
And that's when the league had Chamberlain, Jabbar, all these guys, right? And this guy had the baby hook, left and right hand. It's a shot that a smaller guy can score inside with.
Yeah.
And Scottie Barnes uses that like I said, it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Little head fake, little pump fake, and it's beautiful. But let's talk about Malachi Flynn again, because this is the second straight night that he's played well. He's given the reins, obviously, with Fred VanVleet not playing tonight. And when I watched him, there's plays. Listen, you can get tunnel vision when you're not playing well, when you're tentative, when you're afraid to make a mistake, and you kind of just say, oh, I got to do this because they're doing this. But today I saw a play where his head was way up. He went down the lane, kicked it out, I think, to Thad Young in the corner, and Thad buried the three. And I'm like, that is how you run a team.
Is that the Thad Young that everybody said can't shoot? Buried the three?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
3 threes last game, too. No, like there was he just looks so much more comfortable. Why?
Well, he's a pro.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a kid, it's 2/3 of the way into the season. He's hardly played.
Yeah.
You know how many guys will put their head, in the sand and say, okay, this sucks, this is this. To do what he's done the last 2 games, he's had to have been paying attention. Mm-hmm. He's had to have been asking questions. He's had to be learning, getting better, and he's been working. Because have you noticed a drop-off in his conditioning in 2 games?
No.
Back-to-back games, this guy's pushing, playing strong. So that tells you, number one, he's a pro, right? Opportunity knocks. If you're not ready, you're done. Mm-hmm. Opportunity knocked, and this kid jumped through the door. And think about this. So 13 assists, 1 turnover, averaging almost 16 and a half, 2 games, over 6 assists, 2 games. Hey, I'm watching this kid play, He's taking good shots, making good decisions, pushing the ball. Come on now.
Yeah.
So now you look at, if I'm Nick Nurse, I'm going, okay, Fred's been leading the league in minutes. Getting a little banged up. Now, Fred, you still want Fred on the floor, right? But maybe I can pull back a little bit. Even if it's a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there. Hey, maybe you're struggling for a little bit. Okay, let's just go with this guy now.
Play them together.
Play them together. So it changes the complexion of what you're doing out there. And obviously, you know, Malachi Flynn's got the confidence of his teammates, because these guys aren't going, okay, we got this guy, the sub in. No. They're looking at him and they believe in him, right? So, hey, this was a great 2-day showcase for him. And think about it, maybe now you can give Fred an extra couple of days too, right? Don't rush him back. Let him heal up. Let him feel good. So I'm really impressed. I mean, that's what being a professional is.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought it was really good to see Kem Birch be productive tonight, because he's been a bit quiet last little while, and for my money, he's important for what they want to do. You know,
he is.
Like last year when they got him, he had that really nice game, the little pick and roll, little floater in the lane. And I hadn't seen a lot of that this year, and I saw some of it today.
Yeah. And I said during the game, I hope that he gets loose in this game.
Yeah.
Gets a few of those to go down, because he's struggled. But here's a guy that's important, right? Just his IQ, knowing how to play, where to be, all that stuff. And if he can make those shots that he's shown us he can make, right? It changes things, because he's a different kind of player than Precious. Precious is more like boom, 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 let's go. Birch is more cerebral, more working with everybody, right? So he's important to this team. So hopefully, you know, he's going to continue to get it on track and be what we saw from him before.
When I think about the stretch that they're in now, it reminds me of the stretch where they just had, they had the Miami triple overtime. They had a lot of games in a short amount of time. This could be another one of those opportunities to jumpstart another winning streak, in my opinion.
Hey, why not? You know, it's hey, Detroit's coming in, and they've been a thorn in the Raptors side. Orlando's a winnable game.
Yeah.
So
you go to Cleveland, they're banged up.
Yeah, Cleveland's banged up, and plus it's a team that you're chasing, right? So there's a lot of incentive to play. You're going to be playing Boston soon. There's some good opportunities here, and the Raptors are. There's a fine line with this team, right? Yeah. We said it from the beginning of the season. Yeah. That, there can be slippage, right? And you're not having OG, not having Fred. I mean, you're walking a fine line, but when they can play together with the intensity that we saw defensively, that covers up a lot. That makes up a lot. And this team, it's frustrating for coaches, because you'd say, come on, guys, you got to know by now, we can only play one way.
Right.
We can only play one way to defensive end. When you don't get it, like the previous two games, or you want to pull your hair out.
Yeah.
But when this team locks in and competes the way they show they can defensively, they're tough to play against.
Yeah.
They really are.
Before we go, I want to ask you just your reaction. Did you see that John Morant dunk and then that last shot? Is he not becoming one of your favorite players to watch?
Yeah, I kind of said it. It's kind of like and again, I'm not comparing, but it's a Vinsanity kind of feel to it, where he's just a crazy athlete. I mean, some of the stuff he does, where's that coming from, right? He put his armpit in Jakob Poeltl's face, right? And on that dunk, and think about it. He took one dribble from the three-point line, took off from mid-post, right, and dunks on a 7-footer. Yeah. Right. So but here's the thing. He's got great heart.
That's it.
This kid competes, man. So
he's got
all the highlight stuff, but he wants it, and he's made a difference in this team, right? He competes. You look at reaction of guys when he does stuff. These guys are into him, right? They're not just watching a guy play. They're into their teammate because he competes.
It reminds me a little bit of that mentality that Kobe had, that Jordan had, right? He has that when he talks after a game. He has that same I am not satisfied ever at all.
And like I said, he's got a chance to be a real special player in this league. I mean, he already is. I mean, look at he's changed a lot of what Memphis has done already. But, man, he's fun to watch. He really is.
Well, a special player in this league is you, because you did the show with me by myself, and I appreciate that.
Well, like I said, everybody else abandoned you, and then there's reasons why. We all know. I'm not going to make it public. But
I'm going to try to get a couple more friends for us next time. But thanks for doing this, Leo. You are an amazing man, and I'll never forget when you drove me home after that plane ride. You know, you dropped me off in the middle of nowhere, and that was awesome. Just kidding. All right, next game for the Raptors is Thursday night against the Detroit Pistons right here at Scotiabank Arena, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you then.